When Westworld, let's get it. Don't be sure, tell them make sure. If not, we gon' make more. Clips say it hold 20, but I think it could take more. Grab a stick, fire on your camp, we gon' make s'mores. I ain't satisfied with my spot, then I'ma take yours. No matter how many roadblocks in my way, I'ma break forward. This path I'm on is so damn narrow, I just stay forward. Put them on my plate, I'm never full, I just ate more. Put them on my plate, I'm never full, give me 8 more. Nigga, I don't sugarcoat shit, bitch, I'm straightforward. Don't give a fuck if they don't let me in, I just break doors. Ballin' so hard, they asking what team that I play for. Scammer who? They ain't stopped making guns when they made yours. Sick with it, feeling like I woke up with stage 4. They ain't want the piece loose, what they opened up the cage for. Endure the pain, been through hard times is what I'm made for. Paid my dues, never left a wage, I just rage roar. So many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world, got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
Still against all enemies. In high school, you was the man that's lost memory shit. Lost energy, never lost my energy. Never lose control, never losing. Dog, I plan to keep. You lose your mind where I'm from. I ain't talking from what you see. I never lost soul. Losing time, wasting steady pace, and you off track. I'm on that. You pray to God, hoping He can save you. But the power about war, and that's a different angle. This another lost cause, and I'm just adding to the list. They not seeing me for that reason. Got a flash on the grid. Nigga, big priest. They gon' judge me by my increase. And I'ma keep stepping in these joys to the increase. Just got off the phone with Jacob, and he said it's time to shine. Certified, blue dot, put it on you, now you verified. One West world, bigger than World War III. Do not sleep, it's not cheap, and it's still top 3.
So many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world, got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
Came on boats and then chains, so when I get rich, I'ma grab a boat and 10 chains with 12 ribs from each tribe. And each rib gonna have at least 3 kids. Yeah, I'ma have a deep squad. Been rapping since knee high. Now a nigga shack size. Spit that holy fire, when you hear it, you get baptized. One West world, yeah, you niggas know the logo. And I'ma bust it down so the haters see the glow. Let's have a feast, let's shine on our enemies. Right in they face, let's blind all our enemies. Cause now we have, but we come from half not. Throw that cash on the ground, my nigga, let's cast lots. I started from the bottom, birthed out of mud, raised by gangsters, turned out a thug. I ain't give a fuck, burnt out I was, from hitting licks in and out and selling nicks in the drought.
So many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world, got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So that you said that they put billions of my Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right. One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole. Was never expected to grow. Just obstacle set in the road. That a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. They hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting. The trail of my tears is countless. The fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles will make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be. Slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cages, safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash. Get resolved for the beast. 144, get the brutal show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom be busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a door. It's a door. Payback is a door. It's a door. Payback.
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood slump. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in his body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in a world of mad shooters. There was design fire for our babies to pass through it. And the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
Someday you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a door. It's a door. Payback is a door. It's a door. Payback is a door. It's a door. Payback is a door. It's a door.
Word for word. Just say exactly what I'm saying verbatim, word for word, okay?
Sí.
Shalom, Israel. This is Priest and Officer Harya Allah of the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana. Join us for the Lord's 54th annual Passover in Raleigh, North Carolina, April 1st.
Oh, sí, el Passover va a ser tan divertido.
Vas a hacer un evento maravilloso.
Sí, ¿qué te vas a poner? ¿Ya tienes idea?
Sí, me voy a poner un vestido negro, creo.
Ok, ¿y cómo te vas a dejar?
Oh, whoa, hold up. Are y'all saying exactly what I said verbatim?
Sí.
Word for word.
Sí.
Join us, the Lord's 54th annual Passover, Raleigh, North Carolina, April 1st. The slaughter of the lamb, the all-black party, the Feast of Unleavened Bread is going down. Raleigh, North Carolina, April 1st.
¿Vas a traer a los niños?
Sí, y la familia entera.
Sabes, tengo unos zapatos muy, muy hermosos. Ya los tengo ready para ir.
Ay, creo que me voy a dejar el pelo así, pero no estoy seguro todavía.
Sí, yo tampoco. Hay mucho que preparar.
Hold up. Are y'all seeing what I said?
Sí.
Man, y'all messing up the whole video.
Ven a celebrar el día del Passover, el 54 anual del Señor con nosotros. Abril 1 en Raleigh, North Carolina.
Va a ser un evento maravilloso. Trae a tu familia, trae a tus hijos, trae todo el mundo que tú quieras. Va a ser muy, muy divertido. La vamos a pasar hermoso. Vamos a tener muchos eventos, eventos de All Black Party, donde todos nos vamos a vestir de negro. También la matanza del cordero, donde matamos el cordero y también nos comemos. Va a ser un momento muy maravilloso.
Asegúrense sus boletos. Los boletos son $200 por cada persona, edad 17 y demás.
Y los eventos para los niños son $30 por cada niño. Te vemos allá.
Last year, brothers and sisters showed up from all over the world, rocking ancient garments and glorious apparel in order to serve the Most High in Christ. Now, it's that time again. Commander General Yohana's putting out the decree for all brothers and sisters to show up sundown, April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina. Join us at the Sheridan in Raleigh, the hotel right downtown. It's at 421 South Salisbury. The Passover is right up the block at the convention center, literally within walking distance. Make sure you pull up. Make sure that you do your due diligence because rooms are going fast and they are limited this weekend. You understand? We have months in advance of preparation. Do not wait till the last minute to get your room. The Lord's 54th annual Passover.
We outside. We outside with it. That temperature's getting hot, we take it outside. You run your mouth up in this club, we take it outside. I got my killers with me, you won't make it outside. Outside, cause we outside. Before the COVID had the mess and we was outside. That Glock loaded extra mag and it's outside. There's one west for that bag and we outside. We outside. I got the world in the palm of my hand. One west sleeve stretched through it live on the gram. Had a whole world viewing. Click and subscribe. Had them niggas off the block. Tell them shooters they want a job. I just put them on the payroll. When I get control them, I just mold them like they Play-Doh. Soldiers giving Halo, trying to get up at them pesos. 40 cows send you out of space, Jeff Bezos. And Jeff Bezos, leave you all boxed up. All cause my delivery. I be on that prime shit. Take you time to get with me. Got me like Vladimir. Treat you like the Ukraine. Raise your little city, now you boating like Usain. Scope costs more than the rifle. I got new aim, fresh kick, spit with the blick. Not my shoe game. Used to have a dirty 30 tied to a shoestring. Now I got that Ruger.
Right.
So we gotta do it one more time. Salakia.
No problem.
Aloha Panya. Barak. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatah.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatah. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Thun Shem Yahweh Shai. Let's celebrate with a drink. How about a drink up front? Give it a hand. All right, Akim. Questions in the room, questions online. We'll go over more MLK. We'll go over Christian Rock. Is that her name? Christian Rock and Blueface. We'll go over that. Give you the ISUPK's official breakdown on Christian Rock and Blueface. If you don't know what that is, the brothers broke it down for me. There are a couple that's online in great, emotional distress. All right, and it's all over the internet. All right, we'll go over that more MLK. We'll go over some of the history of Los Angeles. I think I have something on that. I'm not sure if I need to break that down tonight, but I do have it. And of course, I will answer all of your questions in the room. Let's have it. Questions. Let's go up front. Levi.
If I may, sir, looking real glorious, sir. Is that Hazab collection?
This is Hazab's collection. Give him a hand. He makes an old school Mitri out. He make them like they used to be in New York years ago. Years ago, this is how New York has always made excellent meat trees. Well done, Hazaha. All right. Anyone else? Let me get the brother right here. Get the question up, please.
The water
word, no problem.
My question is coming out of the book of Galatians, chapter 4, verse 25 and 26.
All right.
25.
Anything in specific?
Yes, I wanted to know what it meant by Jerusalem. That Arabia answers to Jerusalem.
I got you.
And in 26, when it says Jerusalem is above us all, is it just Israel is above all? Or is it Jerusalem over everybody or everything?
I'll explain. Okay, let's start. What verse are you in?
Let's start at 25.
Please, you can have a seat too. Throughout the word.
Water.
Okay, go ahead.
It's the book of Galatians, chapter 4 and verse 25.
Understand this. You might need to go up to, have I become your enemy for it because I have told you the truth? That might be around 16. You might even need more to see who he's talking to. He's talking to this particular religious sect, and you'll need to look that religious sect up. Let me explain. Hold on 1 second. I appreciate it. You said Galatians, right? Galatians. Stand by, right? For time's sake, maybe I'll give it to you. All right. Give me 15. Give me the 15th verse. Galatians 4 and 15.
It's the book of Galatians, chapter 4 and verse 15. Where is then the blessedness ye speak of? For I bear you record that if it had been possible, ye would have plucked out your own eyes and have given them to me.
Let me explain. Okay, at this time, Paul is battling Israelites who have taken on the culture and the customs of the Arabs, what you would call today Muslims. And Muslims, just like today, in the past, they've always been wild men. That's in the book of Genesis when it spoke about Ishmael. Ishmael is a wild man. The direct translation for that term is criminal. It's criminal. And Muslims have always been like that. It's their culture to be criminals. That's why it's the perfect religion for prison. It's the perfect religion for someone who is lawless and an animal. And they've always been like that. And Paul is saying you would have plucked out your eyes and given them to me, because that is how you behave under the influence of the Arabs or the sons of Ishmael. The Ishmaelites are the Arabs. The Arab people are the children of Ishmael, who was a son, a biological son of Abraham, but not the son that was chosen by God. For time's sake, that's what I'm explaining to you. You understand? Keep going.
Verse 16. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth?
That's a one West precept, Doc, that you will see the need to bring out on the street. Because you'll tell black people that Jesus Christ is black, and they're going to hate you for that. They're going to hate you for just telling them the truth. That's it. For just telling them the truth about Christmas, the truth about women, the truth about life. They're going to hate you for that. And Paul is saying, damn, you're going to pluck out your eyes? Am I your enemy simply because I've told you the truth? We tell blacks and Hispanics they're the chosen people of God, and we're a hate group for doing it. Not the Christians who literally beat their backs with whips, who stabbed them, who shot them. Christianity is not a hate group, although Christians murder black people 100 years ago, 400 years ago, and yesterday. But they're not a hate group ever. But we're a hate group for what? Saying that black people are the chosen people of God, that Hispanics are the people that God loves on this planet Earth. We're a hate group for that. We're enemies to this world because we tell them the truth. Not because we murder like the Christians do, not because we molest children the way the Catholics do, and the Christians. We're not hated for child molestation. The Catholics are. Salakia, the Catholics are not hated. So what am I talking about? The Muslims are not hated for 9/11. Goddamn. You're here in New York where 3,000 people were killed on 9/11. And if you ask someone, is Islam a hate group? No. The UPK is the hate group. We're the hate group. And they murdered 3,000 people in this city. But we're the hate group, no problem. Christ said, marvel not when men shall hate you, for they have hated me first. We're hated because we tell the truth. Everybody understands. Keep going. 1 second. Keep going.
Verse 17. They zealously affect you, but not well.
That's what you need. They zealously.
Zealously.
Zealously means, you know, like excited. And that's what zealous. Who is the you in this precept, trooper?
The children of Israel.
Who is the they?
The Ishmaelites.
Give him a hand. That's all you need. Make you like this. They make you want to become terrorists. They make you want to blow buildings up. They make you want to stab people in prison. They make you think that to show your love of God, you have to murder someone to show your love of God. They zealously affect you. Keep going. After you.
Yea. Oh, excuse me. But not well.
But not well. It's not good. All of that Muslim zeal and jihad and all of that garbage you have, that is not good, Alk. It's not helping you. Now, once again, these precepts now, America has wiped out the Muslims. So these precepts are a lot less impactful now because Islam is gone. Right. You know, but in the 90s, we broke this down, brother. Come on.
As soon as you're done with this, sir, I have a question that's relevant on the topic of Muslims.
Solid. In the back.
Sir, I did a quick Google search and found the Sufis. This is Daily Mail, a site for sore eyes. Sufi Muslim devotees poke out their eyes with knives as part of religious procession for the annual Oris Festival.
Hang on to that. That's an amazing point. Give him a hand. Yes, Sufi. Well, that which shows you how old that custom is. It's in the Bible, which is thousands of years ago. They're doing it today, plucking their eyes out to show how much they love Allah. Keep going.
Yea, they would exclude you.
Hold up. They zealously affect you. Yea, they would exclude you. Keep going.
That ye might affect them.
That you might affect them. Meaning this, I'll break it down very simply for you. They affect you by making you crazy and want to be a murderer, right? But they exclude you, meaning they're not going to let you run that mosque. They're not going to build up your society. They're not going to build up your community. They're going to make you serve them so that you can affect them. How do we affect Muslims? By giving them every penny of our money. So we affect them. How? By them excluding us. They're not partners with black Muslims. You understand? They never become partners with Hispanic Muslims. They just allow us to have our money ripped out of our pockets and given to them so that we can affect their wealth. Everybody understands. Okay. I believe I've given you the context. Now skip down to your precept. Go ahead.
Verse 25. For this Agar is Mount Sinai.
Hagar is the mother of Ishmael. But I'll give you a brief synopsis of the story with Agar. Agar had Abraham's biologically firstborn son. But the Most High God said he was not going to choose Ishmael, who was the biologically firstborn son. And Sarah said that Hagar was belittling her because at that time, Sarah could not have children. And Hagar was a slave who Sarah gave to Abraham to have a child with because she thought she couldn't have any children because she was so old. So she thought her time of having children was over. So she said, you know what? Go into my slave and to my handmaid, make a baby with her. And then in that way, I'll have a baby because my slave woman will have a child. Her not knowing the power of God, because later on, Sarah did give birth to a child. At her elderly age, she gave birth to a child, and that child's name was Isaac. And in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Meaning, Ishmael, you will not call your seed. Ishmael is a bastard. He's been rejected by his father. Thy seed shall be called Isaac. When someone says, who's your seed, Abraham? Isaac is my seed, not Ishmael. Ishmael was rejected by the father and by his father. That's your context. You get me? Read it from the top again.
Verse 25. For this Agar is Mount Sinai in Arabia.
Hagar is Mount Sinai in Arabia. What's Mount Sinai? The Most High's holy mountain. But this is the Most High's holy mountain in Arabia, meaning this is the government of Arabia, not Jerusalem, but in Arabia. And that's what happened. The Arabs rule Arabia, which is where the term Arab comes from, Saudi Arabia. The Arabs, their mountain is there. Their government is there. Keep going.
And answereth to Jerusalem.
And does what?
Answereth to Jerusalem.
That Mount Sinai in Arabia answers to Jerusalem, meaning they are below the Mount Zion in Jerusalem. They answer to Jerusalem. I mean, you understand the concept, correct? Keep going.
And is in bondage with her children.
And is in bondage with her children. Hagar was a slave woman, and her children are still slaves to us. And that's just that. They're beneath us. And that's what you have to remember when you're tempted to become a Muslim. Black people are tempted and Hispanics are tempted to become every other race because of low self-esteem. Every other people seem so glorious and so ancient. You look at the Muslims and they all on that carpet, they down there and they, cleaning their face and acting all ancient and Middle Eastern. And you look at yourself and your father was a crackhead and your mother a drunk, and you'll go, man, that's how I should be. Ooh, man, now I'm not a nigger. Now I'm not a spick whose parents couldn't speak English. Now I'm so ancient, Middle Eastern. They're beneath you. You understand? Which is what Paul is trying to tell them. You're following these people who are slaves, nothing. They're a low-class people, and you're above them. Now, they hated him for saying that. The chosen people of God hated him for saying that. That sounds familiar. Keep going. Anything else? 1 second. Is that it or not?
Oh, that was it for verse 25.
Was that it for your question?
Oh, kind of.
Solid up front.
Concert. So with that said, Lord allow, we have camp this Saturday in Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
We might be having camp on 116 in Lenox,
Mm-hmm.
right across the street from where Malcolm X used to teach at.
I know it well.
And if we do have camp there, what are I was thinking about going into how how our people became Muslims and how we allowed Africans, specifically the Senegalese, to move into our neighborhood there.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're causing a whole bunch of problems for our people that are there, all because of the Christian church that's next door accepts them, or the Muslim mosque accepts them. What are some angles will be best to go into?
The angles today are the oppression of the African overlords in Harlem, which has been going on for too goddamn long. Right. I think it started in the 80s, where the Africans came into Harlem, which are an especially disgusting people, especially people from Ghana. Right. There is a giant push, and you cannot have your eyes open and not notice the drive of everyone promoting Ghana. Ghana is coming out the walls. Everyone has to go to Ghana, promote Ghana. Have you heard about Ghana? Anyone? Boy, we should all go to Ghana. Have you seen Ghana? What about Ghana? What is Ghana doing today? And it is a money hustle. The same hustle happened with Ethiopia a little while ago and Egypt back in the 90s. Everything was Egypt. Have you seen Egypt? We're all Egyptians. We should all go to Egypt. After they suck every penny out of your pocket, they go and find a new African country who wants to take black American dollars and build up an African economy. Right. And that is it. What is the exchange rate between whatever money they have in Ghana and the American dollar?
Alexa,
someone show me that. Oh,
what is the currency rate between Ghana and the United States?
1 Ghanaian cedi equals 0.087 United States dollars.
Alexa, stop. That's like less than a cent.
Let me tell you, that black money, it stretches in Ghana. Oh, it stretches down there. 0. Now imagine you take your money down to Ghana, brother. Guess what? When you get off the plane, you're African king. When you get there, they're gonna pull out a scroll What's your name again? Jerome? Jerome, you are an African king of Ghana.
How much money do you have?
How much money do you have? To $5,000, you can rule this entire province and have them bow to you. It's a money hustle, which is what Africans are excellent at. They're like the gypsies of old. They are excellent at hustling people out of their money. And of course, you are desperate for self-respect. So now you can be an African king. You know, they told me I was an African king. I'm a umpotunte. What's that word they use for African king? Intimtote, or some silly ass word like that. You can buy. The point is, you can buy that word. You give them a certain amount of money, you can be numtontonte. It just costs, a few dollars, and of course, your money stretches over there. They've been coming to Harlem, brother. I think they started in the 80s. Commandant General Yohana will know the exact time when Harlem used to have vendors everywhere. Every black person had a vending license. There wasn't much, but it mattered because you were able to survive. Then the Africans came and the city wiped out all of the vending licenses and then put that African market right up there on 116th and Lenox.
Between
Madison and Fifth Avenue. They put that African market up there, which is a sewer full of wooden African gods.
Right.
A ton of gods with breasts all over them, giant lips and funny heads, and a mess of wooden gods. And of course, sunglasses and, whatever. And all of the, what's this mess they love? All of the shea butter, you could you could be drenched in shea butter.
And black soap.
Right. You could fill a bathtub up full of shea butter and submerge yourself in it if you go to that market. Right. And the Africans just, they're the new gypsies. They just know how to hustle everybody out of their money. Everybody understands. So I would go into that because really, okay, Islam is dead. Islam is gone. It's just America wiped out Islam. They don't even really exist anymore. But Africans control Harlem. Africans control the place, and they're sending every Judite over to Ghana to strip your pockets naked and then send you back to Harlem. Everybody understand? That's what I would go into, all right? And you'll be speaking up for the brothers over there who are oppressed because they can't get a job. They can't sell anything. They can't do anything over there at all. They can't set up a table and sell anything because the Africans oppress them and the city works with the Africans, which is why Ghana is being pressed because Ghana is working with the American government. The American government wants to funnel all of your money into Ghana and that specific place. And they always pick that place. Like it's not a Mozambique. What happened to Mozambique? What happened? Give me some more African countries no one ever discusses. The Congo. Poor places. Places that need your love and need your help. They pour down there in the Congo and give me some more names. Morocco. Nambia. What the hell? What happened to Nambia? But it's always that one place that is heaven on earth. And for the next 5 years, it'll be Ghana until Ghana just rips you of every penny you have. And then it'll be, we have to get to Nambia. Nambia is where you can be an African princess. Is where Oprah should come. All right, in the back, how's it? I want to say Lesotho. Say again? Yeah, Soweto.
Lesotho, where everybody gets killed.
Lesotho, where everybody gets killed. No one goes there. All right, you get the point. That's what I would bring out. Come on.
Goldsboro, North Carolina has joined us today.
Who else is here? Goldsboro, North Carolina.
And they have a question.
Headquarters. Go ahead.
And North Carolina has a question.
Come on, young man. You can speak. I
got a question in Acts 10. A Christian sent it to me saying that it's legal to eat pork.
Okay, no problem. First of all, let's shout out North Carolina, which is where the Passover will be. North Carolina did a hell of a job, man. And they established this Passover and did the work. Brothers like Yaramak down there and Iraq down there and Captain Nayathak and so many other brothers that went and did the work to establish the Passover this year. And the Passover is a very difficult operation to do. And New York had this job for, goddamn, since 1969, New York has done this job and you will do it again. But this year, it's being done in North Carolina. and I'm absolutely impressed with your work. Give North Carolina a hand. I'm assuming this is the one where I'm assuming you're talking about Acts 10 and 34 with the sheep and the animals, right?
Well, it was said that when Peter had his dream that it was pork that was said to be a clean animal.
I got you. Let's break it down. All right. Acts 10 and 34.
All right. Yeah.
Say again.
Come on, sir. Come on, sir.
Where do you want to start at?
10 and 12.
10 and 12. Go ahead.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 10, verse 12. Wherein all manner of four-footed beasts of the earth, and wild beasts, and creeping things, and fowls of the earth, and fowls of the air. Verse 13. And there came a voice to him, rise, Peter, and kill and eat.
Okay, Christians are saying that this precept, watch this. Christians are saying that this precept means we can eat what?
Any unclean thing, or anything on the
Well, you mentioned an animal earlier. You remember?
Pork.
Right, that's why Christians use this precept to say you can eat pork.
Come on, sir.
According to this precept, can you eat what? Read that. Read it again. Read the description.
Verse 10. Well, verse 11.
Yeah, kind of.
12. I'm sorry. Wherein all manner of four-footed beasts of the earth, and wild beasts, and creeping things, and fowls of the air.
Keep going.
Verse 13. And there came a voice to him, rise, Peter, kill and eat.
And so Christians say that this precept means you can eat pork. Well, what else could you eat according to this precept?
An alligator.
All
A
right.
dog, a cat.
A cat. How about what else?
A hippopotamus.
How about a dog?
Yeah, a con. Come on, sir.
Cat in Wuhan, China. Could you eat that?
Come on, sir.
And furthermore, if there is no dietary law, I'm assuming that's what you're saying, right? Well, that's what the Christian is saying, correct?
Come on.
Then couldn't you eat me?
Come on, sir.
Because there's no dietary law. So you could eat bats in China, which is what caused the COVID-19 virus. You could eat rats. Is this Christian saying that they believe they're pro rat eating? Is that what they're saying?
Come on, sir.
So what would the Christian say?
That basically you can eat anything on God's given earth.
Okay, so I'm assuming the Christian doesn't believe in the Food Safety Bureau. You know how Chinese store, you know how the Chinese stores in North Carolina. You have Chinese stores in North Carolina, right?
Come on.
I'm assuming the Christian does not believe that there should be a government agency that goes into these stores and to make sure they're clean. Because you can eat anything. So then couldn't you eat mice?
Come on, sir.
That creeping thing, right? So would you have to make sure that there are no mice in your Popeye's chicken? Couldn't there be mice in your Popeye's chicken because they're a creeping thing and they're clean to eat? So would this Christian say, yes, we should not have any government agency to stop people from cooking cat? Like, you know how black people always are worried that Chinese people are cooking cat? I'm sure that Christian thinks we should stop worrying about that. Is that what the Christian is trying to say, in your opinion? Huh?
It's somewhat, they basically said that, I made a post and they didn't agree, saying that to read Acts 12 when I talk about the pork.
Not talking about what?
Pork.
So the scripture in Acts is not talking about the pork. That's the questions that I'm asking you now. That's what you have to do to them. Because the Christian is so self-absorbed. They think this precept is only allowing the foods they like. You understand? Like they don't even see it like, well, that means you can eat mice, rats, cats, dogs, people. You can eat people. You could eat anything you want to eat if there's no dietary law. Then why not be a cannibal? Why not eat mice and rats and roaches? Why not eat anything? Why even care about being clean or what this Chinese store is cooking or whether or not it's dirty or not? Because you can eat anything at all, everything you can eat. A Christian is not even thinking this is talking about anything except for what he likes to eat, because that is how selfish and vile and lustful a Christian is. You understand the point, warrior?
Come on, sir.
Now I'll break it down for you. Take me up to the top. Take me up to when what's his name? Cornelius came to Peter's house. Here's the key to remembering this precept. This precept is not talking about animals at all. That's not what this is about. This is a metaphor. This is not about any and all anything that you can eat in any way. Let me give you the precept. Give me Leviticus 11:46 first, and then you'll take me up to where Cornelius came to meet the brother in this house. About you.
Come on, sir. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 11, verse 7.
And he rejected him.
And the swine.
Say it again.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 11, verse 7.
Is that the one I want? Someone double check.
47.
This is the duty of man, or this is the obligation to make a difference. 47. Go to 47 up.
This is the book of Leviticus.
Yes.
Chapter 11, verse 47. To make a difference between the unclean and the clean, and between the beast.
One verse up.
One verse?
Go up one verse.
Go up.
Gun.
Verse 46. This is the law of the beast and of the fowl and of every living creature.
This is the law of the beast and the fowl and of every living creature. This is the law. It's right here in Leviticus. Keep reading.
That moveth in the waters, and of every creature that creepeth upon the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 47. To make a difference between the unclean and the clean, and between the what? To make a difference between the unclean and the clean.
To do what?
To make a difference between the unclean and the clean.
Alexa, what caused the COVID-19 epidemic?
According to Mayo Clinic, infection with the severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2 or SARS-CoV-2 causes coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19. The virus appears to spread easily among people. It mainly spreads from close person-to-person contact within about 6 feet or 2 meters. It spreads by droplets released when an infected
Alexa,
person...
stop. Alexa, what was the origin of the COVID-19 virus? Wet markets in Wuhan, China.
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
What's called?
Let's see if we can find it. 1 second. Let me word it in a way that she'll have to give me the answer. Alexa, did the COVID-19 virus start from wet?
Here's an answer from an Alexa Answers contributor that I translated.
Uh-huh.
COVID-19 emerged in China in 2019. Did that answer your question?
Almost, Alexa. Alexa, did it start from wet markets in Wuhan, China?
Sorry, I don't know that.
Alexa, how was bat eating and pangolin eating related to the COVID-19 virus?
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Someone Google it. Alexa don't want to tell us about this one. Biden must have took the truth out of Alexa. But this is something you can.
They
Google.
program and all that AI.
Wet
sir.
markets. You know what a wet market is? A wet market is where they sell live animals. Dogs and monkeys and every nasty thing that your preacher would have you eat. They sell in these wet markets in Wuhan, China. And they were eating some animal called a pangolin, which is like what's that thing? Armadillo. It's a little adorable animal that should be your pet, not on your plate. They eat them in China and bats. And that's how this virus, the animals had the virus, but the virus jumped from humans from eating this animal. And that's how it crossed over into humans, and then the Chinese got involved and the government got involved, and then here we go with 2 million people dying. I'm shocked that I still have to teach that you can't eat whatever you want after the COVID-19 epidemic. The fact that I still have to teach it is an amazing thing, but I know why. Because in a Christian's mind, well, yeah, that was the bats and the pangolin, but I eat pork. So all I'm talking about is pork. When this precept did not mention pork, it said everything that crawls, everything on 4 legs, everything. You don't understand that your desire for porks also allows Chinese to eat bats and rats and cats and dogs. You understand, right? Up. The brothers can look up what I just said about in the news. All right, you can look it up on your phones. You keep reading now. Now we're done with that. Now take me back to Acts. Where do we start at, Abadja?
You want to start about you started 28.
Start at 28, North Carolina.
Come on, come. This is verse. This is the book of Acts, chapter 10, verse 28. And he said unto them, ye know how that it is an unlawful thing for
it is what? It is what?
It is an unlawful thing.
That's what you need to understand this. You know that it is an unlawful thing. Keep going.
For a man is to company come unto one of another nation.
You know that it is unlawful for a man that is a Jew to keep company with him of another nation, which shows you that our laws were amazing. You couldn't be friends. You couldn't be around, eat, drink with someone who was of another nation. That's the law. That's the law. Meaning if they're a so-called oppressor, if they're another race, you can't be in their house and you and them in yours. That's in the New Testament. You can't hang around them. You can't have fun with them, go out with them. You cannot be around anyone socially, which is what keep company means, of someone of another nation. So because of that, Peter rejected Cornelius. He rejected him. Why? Because Cornelius was a black or Hispanic man who had taken on the culture of another nation. And in Israel, if you were with them, we considered you them. Because you were what? Blow my mind.
A Gentile, sir.
You were unclean.
Con.
Which made you a Gentile. Israel rejected people who were even Israelites if they broke the commandments of God and sided with another nation. That's in Leviticus. Thou shalt not come into this nation for 10 generations if your mother is a whore, if your father was a sinner. If you were a sinner, thy soul shall be cut off from thy people. That's the precept you need to understand Gentiles in the New Testament. Give me thy soul, that soul shall be cut off from thy people. That soul shall be cut off from thy people, meaning you're not one of us anymore. That soul shall be cut off from thy people. So even though your bloodline is of Israel, you are not one of us anymore. Who has it?
I got it.
This is the precept you need, Leviticus 18 and 21. Read 20. Same point. 29.
This book, Leviticus chapter 7, verse 27.
I'll take it. Go ahead.
Whatsoever soul it be that eateth any manner of blood, even that soul shall be cut off from his people.
Here's another dietary law. Whosoever eateth any manner of blood. What's the so-called Hispanic, that morcilla? The so-called Hispanic sausage that they make. I believe it's called morcilla or porcilla. It's a blood sausage. The Ephraimites eat it. A lot of the Spanish tribes eat it. You can't eat that, even clean from a clean animal. You can't eat blood of any kind. It's unlawful. The Africans love eating blood. They love it. Go Google a video of an African strangling a goat because he didn't want the blood to spill on the ground. So instead, they sit and strangle the goat so that all the blood will gather up into his chest. And when he's dead, they can just pour all the blood into a bowl That's African culture. And then you look at that poor goat. God damn, Lord be with that goat. If I was an African goat, I'd pray every day. Anyway, we can't drink blood or eat blood or do anything with blood. Put the blood down the kitchen sink where it belongs. Wash your damn meat and let the blood run down the sink and forget about it. Don't act like you're from Ghana. Well, this scripture says, whosoever eats the blood of anything is what? Read it again. Say again.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 7, verse 27. Whatsoever soul it be that eateth any manner of blood, even that soul shall be cut off from his people.
Keep reading.
Verse 28. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, verse 29, speak unto the children of Israel.
That's it. That's enough. If you're an Israelite and you drink blood, you're not one of us anymore. So then if you're not an Israelite, what are you? A Gentile. Now, you know what you are now? Since you love America, you are American. Since you love Africa, you're an African American. Since you love the Spanish, you're a Mexican. Since you love the Spanish, you're a Puerto Rican, which means the doorway to riches. You're one of them now. You're not one of us anymore because you eat blood. You drink blood. So now you're Haitian now. That's what you are now, but you're not Levi because you drink blood. So you are cut off from us. That's what you need to understand the Gentile concept. You weren't an Israelite anymore. You were done. You were gone. You were exiled, excommunicated. You were whatever the people are where you live, where they drink blood. You're one of them, but you're not one of us. Everyone understand. Think about it like being kicked out of the school, right? When the day comes when I kick you out to school, you're not, I'm going to take your cover and hang it up right here, right? Well, if you're a woman, I'm going to strip you of your Hebrew name. You're going to be called Tamika. You're not going to be called your Hebrew name anymore. You'll be rejected and shunned, and whoever is friends with you will also be kicked out of the school. You get my point? Now, before you know it, you and your buddies are all Gentiles. You're not UPK officers anymore. You're kicked out. You're not one of us anymore. No one can talk to you. No one can speak to you. No one can help you. Now you're in the world. And that's where I'll send you. I pray you understand. Well, that's what the Most High God did to these blood drinkers and pig eaters and rat eaters. He did that to them. They were gone. Now take me back to the precept. So now here's one of them that's coming to Peter's house. And Peter looks at him and goes, "You're a Roman centurion. It is unlawful for me, being a Jew, to keep company with anyone from another nation. You're from another nation. You're an African American. You're not one of me at all." So Peter rejected him. Peter would not let him come into his house. Keep going.
Verse 8, and he said to them, "Ye know that it's unlawful."
Can anyone hear him? Do me a favor, North Carolina. I'll allow someone from Harlem to read for you. Just let me know if you cannot hear them, okay?
Okay.
You got it? Go ahead.
This Acts 10 and 28. And he said unto them, "Ye know how that it is an unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company or come unto one of another nation.
Mm-hmm.
But the power hath showed me that I
one
should
that
not
is another nation.
One of another nation. Salakia.
One that is by blood another nation.
One of another nation.
What does it mean to be in the world but not of it? Who knows? Break that down. Here's the other great misconception about Acts 10 is this. Here's the lie about Acts the 10th chapter. The first lie is that it's speaking about eating anything you want. The second lie is that it's talking about people who are another nation. Cornelius was not another nation. He was
of another nation.
Another nation. Precept. Be ye in the world and not of it, fast as you can get it. From North Carolina. Be ye in the world, but not of the world. Many Christians have even heard of that precept before, and you just want to tell me what that means after you find it.
Okay.
17 and 16.
You got good scotch in here tonight. Give him a hand.
Salakia, what's the verse?
It's like drinking leather. About you.
Salakia, the verse?
What verse?
17 and 16.
John 17, verse 16.
Go ahead.
17 and 16. Khan, they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world.
Christ said they are not. Christ prayed. This is not the one I was talking about.
Right.
But Christ said his men who he prays for, they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. Now give me be ye not, be ye in the world, but not of it. Officer up front. I'm assuming. What's your rank out right here? This brother right, he had his hand up. To our trooper, go ahead.
I think it's 1 John 2 and 15.
I believe that's right. Go ahead and read it. No problem. Take your time. See me down, please. I appreciate it. Who are you? I'm good with this.
Book of 1 John chapter 2 and verse 15. Love not the world.
I don't think that's it.
Is it John 15 and 19?
Let me hear it.
The book of John, chapter 15, verse 19. If you were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world.
This is not it. Maybe I'm paraphrasing it wrong. But I'll take those. All right. The one that Trooper had and you have and Abadja have. This is all you need. Being of the world does not mean you are a white man. It means you're of the white man, or the oppressor, or you're of the Chinese. It of me indicates behavior. You get my point? If I am of New York, then what do? I love the Yankees. You know, I wear a Yankees baseball hat. I eat the Coney Island hot dogs. I don't know what the hell y'all doing down here.
Salakia, sir.
People in New York do. I speak the language. I celebrate the religious holidays. If I'm of Rome, then I do the things that the Romans do, which is eat mice and homosexuality. You get the point? If I'm of San Francisco, you know what that's about. Everybody gets it, right? Of is speaking about your behavior, which is why Peter is rejecting him. For it is unlawful for him that is a Jew to keep company with he that is of another nation. Meaning, if you're a cop or a Roman centurion, you are them. Because you behave like them. Everybody gets the point. So Peter would reject a black cop or someone from Galatia or someone who behaves like the people from Galatia. He would reject you if he knew that you did the things that they do. So the best way to understand this is like a black or Hispanic cop. He comes up in his uniform, which is repulsive to a black or Hispanic man. That cop uniform is like, oh, you cannot come in here. It is unlawful for me, who is a Jew, to keep company with he that is of another nation. You're wearing that Roman uniform. You're a Roman. You're not one of me. You can't come in my house. Everybody understands. I got to move on for time's sake. Of is what you want to focus on. Christians won't even see it. They won't even notice it's there. That's how indoctrinated they are. Keep reading.
Sir. But God hath showed me that I should not call any man common or unclean.
But God hath shown me that I should what?
Not call any man.
Any pig.
Man.
Any cat.
Man.
Any bat or pangolin.
Man.
God hath shown me that I should not call any man common or unclean. What did Peter learn? Peter learned to accept a black man in a cop's uniform. He learned to accept a black man who looked like he was taking on the culture of another nation. Peter learned to accept them. Keep reading.
29. Therefore came I unto you without gainsaying.
And that because of that, Peter came unto him without talking bad about him and belittling him.
29.
Now, my only question is this: North Carolina, are you there? When did God show Peter this? Not to reject any man or call any man common or unclean. You know?
Nah, sir.
Show him. Go up above it.
Salakia. Salakia, but God hath showed me.
Not that. Show him where Peter is saying right here that God showed him to accept him.
Right.
To not call any man common or unclean.
Right.
Show me where God showed Peter to do it.
Salakia, sir, I have it. The book of
Please.
Acts, chapter 10, verse 12.
This is what you need, North Carolina. Acts 10 and 12.
Wherein were all manner of four-footed beasts.
Above it. Show me that it's a dream.
Come on. Verse 10. And he came very hungry and would have eaten, but while they made ready, he fell into a trance.
Peter was hungry. And he came hungry and he wanted to get something to eat. But while he was waiting for them to cook the food, he fell into a deep trance. He fell asleep. Keep going.
Verse 11. And saw heaven open. And
how did he see heaven open? Visualize it. Imagine the clouds, and the clouds open up. Clouds open. That's what heaven opens means. Keep going.
And a certain vessel descending upon him.
And imagine a vessel like a sheet, like a big goblet or a big serving tray. That might be the perfect way to describe it, like a tray that you would serve food on. He sees it descending, meaning coming down. Keep going.
As it had been a great sheet.
Like it was a great sheet coming down. Keep going.
Neat at the four corners.
Meaning at the four corners, it was knit, meaning it was decorated at the four corners like a rug or a carpet would be. Keep going.
And let down to the earth.
And it was let down to the earth out of the sky, out of the heavens. Keep going.
Verse 12. Wherein were all manner of four-footed beasts.
On this sheet or this tray or this vessel was all manner of four-footed beasts. All of them. Think of everything that walks on 4 feet. Horses, pigs, cats, dogs, rats. You pick it. If it had 4 legs, it was on this thing. Keep going.
Of the earth and wild beasts.
And wild beasts. Those wild boar or bears or grizzly bears, polar bears. Keep going.
And creeping things.
Oh, and things all creeping on the ground, crawling. You know, rats and mice and bugs and everything like that. Keep going.
And fowls of the air.
And every fowl of the air, pigeons, vultures, hawks, owls, everything. Keep going.
Verse 13. And there came a voice to him.
As he's watching these animals come down on this sheet, a voice came to him, and go ahead.
Rise, Peter, kill and eat.
Do what?
Kill and eat.
Rise, because Peter is asleep. So the voice is saying, get up, kill and eat. That's what the voice said from heaven. Keep going.
Verse 14.
Abijah, hold that precept you had, the one you read. Keep going.
But Peter said, not so.
Peter said what?
Not so.
Peter said what?
Not so.
First of all, that shows you something about Peter, who learned directly from Jesus Christ. Right. Peter kept the dietary law. A voice from God told him to eat these animals. He said no. Right. Trained by him. He said, I'm not eating pangolin and bat. I don't want to die. I don't want to cause a virus that kills 2 million people. Hold your point. I'm not doing that. A voice from God told him to do it. He said, no, not so. I will not do it. Keep going.
Not so, Lord.
Not so who?
Lord.
God told him to eat those animals. He said, no. It's right here in the Bible. And he was trained. He's Peter. He was trained by Jesus Christ himself. God told him to eat those animals. He said, I'm not eating that. I won't do it, Lord. I will not do it, God. That's what Peter said. Keep going.
For I have never eaten anything that is common or unclean.
He was trained by Jesus Christ. I have never eaten anything common or unclean, ever. That was Peter. Well, you want to be like Peter, and you want to read the book of First Peter, and you want to act like you're Peter. Peter didn't eat anything that was common or unclean. He didn't do that. Keep going.
Verse 15. And the voice spake unto him again the second
very
time.
Carefully. The voice said unto him the second time, go ahead.
What God has cleansed, that call not thou common.
The voice then explained his request. What God has cleansed, that call thou not common or unclean. If God makes it clean, then it's clean. If God has cleansed it, then it's clean. Now, here's the part you need, Christians, before you go get the ribs out. Because, of course, your whole life is about what you put in your stomach and what you snort up your nose and what smoke you put down your lungs. I get it. And what penises you shove into your orifice and what you shove your penis into. That's your entire life. Your life is about nothing else from 11 years old but pleasure. So listen carefully. Peter heard God tell him, eat it. And then God told him the second time, if I cleanse it, it's clean. You don't call it unclean if I cleanse it. Now listen to this next part. Go ahead.
Verse 16. This was done thrice.
God did it again, said it again. What I clean is clean. Don't call anything common that I clean. Keep going.
And the vessel was received up again into heaven.
Went back up into the sky. Keep going.
Verse 17. Now while Peter doubted in himself what this vision which he had seen should mean.
You see the problem here, Christians? Listen carefully. Peter heard it 3 times while he doubted in himself what this vision should mean. Peter didn't think, oh, this must mean eat horse. This must mean eat polar bear. Peter knew it was a vision, and so he's doubting, like, well, what is God trying to tell me? He's trying to tell me something, but I don't understand what he's trying to tell me. Come on.
So you're saying it wasn't about eating baby back ribs?
No, this is not about eating ribs. In your case, it would be like you saw this and then you woke up and ate a bear. You wouldn't doubt in yourself what it's about. You said, well, I saw a vision with a bear. I'm eating the bear today. That's not what Peter did. He wasn't a pig like you are. He wasn't totally led by his lust like you are. You're just ruled by, your lust. That's not how he was. He's trying to understand what God is saying. He's trying to understand it. Read it again and then keep reading.
Now, while Peter doubted in himself what this vision which he had seen should mean, behold, the men which were sent from Cornelius had made inquiry for Simon's house and stood before the gate.
He's thinking to himself, God sent me a vision saying, what I clean, don't call unclean. What I clean, accept. What does that mean? All of a sudden, someone's at the door. Sister.
Thank you. I think it means to accept Cornelius.
Give her a hand. Well done, sister. Ra'aya. Well done, Ra'aya. That's right. Peter is trying to understand it. He doesn't understand it quite yet. And then Cornelius and his men are at the door. And now he gets it. He would reject this man in a Roman uniform any other day. He would reject him because he had a clean shaven face and he had his hair cut. He would reject him. Go, wait a minute, this cat, he had a bald face, no hair on his head, and a cop uniform on. Any other day he would reject him, but keep reading.
Behold, the men which were sent from Cornelius had made inquiry for Simon's house and stood before the gate.
Simon is Peter. That's his surname, Peter. Keep going.
Verse 18, and called and asked whether Simon, which was surnamed Peter, were lodged there.
So they're at the gate saying, does Peter live here? Is this Peter's home? Because they're looking for Peter. Keep going.
Verse 19, while Peter thought on the vision, the Spirit said unto him, Behold, 3 men seek thee.
He's thinking about the vision, and then the Most High says, there are 3 men looking for you. There are 3 men looking for you. Keep going.
Verse 20, Arise, therefore, and get thee down, and go with them, doubting nothing, for I have sent them.
For I have sent them. Get up, go with them, because I sent them to you. Now, Abadja, take me to where we started. So he comes downstairs, he sees them, he looks at them. They're Roman centurions. They're like in Esau's military. They have Marines uniforms on and army uniforms on. They look like white men with their shaved faces and their cut hair. He looks at them and he says, go ahead.
Verse 28, and he said unto them, ye know how that it is an unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company.
First of all, let me tell you 3 brothers something. You know it's unlawful for me being a Jew to even be around someone like you, to keep company with someone of another nation. That job you have, that's of another nation. Right. That hairstyle, that's of another nation's hairstyle. The way you wear your beard, that's another nation's. That's the way they wear their beards. You know it's unlawful for me to be around you. Keep going.
Or come unto one of another nation, but
say it again.
But
say it again.
But
keep going.
The power hath showed me that I should not call any man uncommon or unclean.
God already showed him to accept them. The vision in Acts is not about you eating baby back ribs. It's about a man who has the truth, accepting a brother who doesn't have it so he can have it too. Without this, we couldn't teach people in the world. We couldn't be around them. You understand? We couldn't accept anyone who was ever in a church. The Bible says if you have ever worshiped another God, you have to die. Right. Which means you can't go to him if he's ever celebrated Christmas. Right. If he's ever pledged allegiance to the flag. Right. If he's ever been Catholic, you and I would have to just reject him and never be around him. Who does that? Jewish people. Right. Jewish people, if you're not born Jewish, they just want nothing to do with you at all. You have to be born Jewish. That's it. What Jesus Christ taught us is that even though he wasn't born into the truth, he doesn't have the truth. We're going to accept him so we can give him the truth. Everybody understands? And this is where the gospel comes from. Righteous people going to unrighteous people to give them righteousness. It's from this precept. It's from this that we're able to go out and go into slums and in terrible places to bring people life who live in death. Everyone understands. You understand North Carolina?
Sir.
Solid. Next.
Counselor,
1 second. Come on.
I got two questions from Rio Grande, one from Officer Kanak and one from Yashikar. Kanak right now is on Clubhouse.
Go ahead. Let me get my Espanol together.
Kanak, you there? Kanak. Well, Yashikar is on the line right now, sir. Yashikar.
Canal Khan.
¿Cómo está, Canal?
Órale, mi general. Yahba Shem Yashar Barakatah, sir.
Yahba Shem Yashar Barakatah.
Salaki Adawan, I had a question, sir, in reference to Zechariah chapter 5, verse 9.
I'm ready.
Khan, sir, if I could, a lot of my Hispanic people, they be thinking you die and you become a little baby naked angel and everybody who dies becomes an angel of some sort. And they all got to be naked according to them. But, Khan, sir, but I had this brother asked me if there was women angels. And of course I told him no, but I would rather get a breakdown on that, sir. If I could, I can go ahead and read the verse.
Read the verse, please.
See me, general. Then I lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, there came out two women, and the wind was in their wings, for they had wings like the wings of a stork, and they lifted up the ephah between the earth and the heaven. And according to him, sir, that means there was women angels.
No, this is not about. I recall the breakdown on this now. This is a vision. It's like saying, are there sheets with pigs and polar bears on them? This is a vision. This is not. These are not angels. This is a vision. Let me give you another one. You can read another one in Revelations 12:1. Read that, please.
Khan, I don't want sir. Revelation 12:1. 1 second, I don't want to select. Select it, sir. 12:1. Other one.
I believe. Is that right? The woman with 12 stars around her head. I believe that's it. Go ahead.
Khan. The book of Revelations, chapter 12, verse 1. And there appeared a great woman, or Salakia, a great wonder in heaven.
What
a woman clothed.
Appeared a great wonder in heaven. In heaven, meaning in the sky. There appeared a great wonder in heaven. So imagine the stars or the sky way up. Keep going.
Khan. A woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet.
Keep going.
And upon and upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
A crown of 12 stars. Also, the Most High God in Jeremiah, the 3rd chapter, refers to Israel as his wife. He says that he is our husband. Someone pull that for the brother. This is all you need for this. Although I was a husband unto thee. That's in Jeremiah, the 3rd chapter. 1 second, Yashikar, all right? Go ahead.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 3 and 14.
Jeremiah 3 and 14.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 3, verse 14. Turn. Oh, backsliding. Salaki, sir.
They shall. 1 second out. I'm getting the next precept together for you for time's sake. Give me, they shall be no more twain, but they shall be one. Go ahead.
Khan, sir. Do you want me to continue out of one?
Do. Go ahead.
Khan, turn, O backsliding children, saith the Lord, for I am married unto you.
I am what?
I am married unto you.
Most High God said he was married to us. Keep going.
And I will take you one of a city and two of a family.
That's all I need. That's all I need for the breakdown. Give me, I was a husband to you. I'll take that. Abijah, where is that at? Isaiah 54 and 5, Yashikar.
Khan, sir.
I am. That is. Hang on to it. Go ahead.
Khan, sir. Listo. Isaiah chapter 54, verse 5. For thy maker is thine husband.
Thy maker is thy what?
Thine husband.
This is all you need. This is a vision, just like the ones I just read. Now go back to the precept you put. One more I'm sorry. Hold the one you have, Abijah. Now go back to your precept, Yashikar.
Khan. Zechariah chapter 5, verse 9. Then I lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, there came out two women.
How many women?
Two women.
How many women?
Two women.
Let me give you, this is the last precept you need to understand it. Where is it at, Abijah?
Ezekiel 37 and 19.
Now read Ezekiel 37 and 19.
Come. Kanarawan Khan. Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 19. Say unto them, thus say the Lord God, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim.
What's the
and
stick of Joseph? The stick of Joseph is speaking about what was called at one time the Northern Kingdom, what was also called, before you come into the truth, the Hispanics, right? The stick of Joseph, which is a staff, which is in the hand of Ephraim, right? Which represents the so-called Northern Kingdom or the Hispanics. I will take the stick of Joseph. Keep going.
Kanarawan Khan, General. Behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his fellows.
And the tribes of Israel, his fellows, meaning Ephraim, Issachar, Simeon, the Dominicans, all the so-called Hispanic tribes, including the so-called North American Indian tribes. Keep going.
Kanarawan Khan, General. And I will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah.
And I will put it with him, even the stick of Judah. So you have one that's the so-called Hispanics, one that's the so-called Negroes. The stick of Judah, keep going.
Kanarawan Khan. And make them one stick, and they shall be one in mine hand.
Make them one stick, and they shall be one in my hand. Keep going.
Salak, so you want verse 20 as well?
Yes, please.
Khan, sir. Verse 20. And the sticks whereon thou writest
What I need
shall
is
be
no more twain. Is that right here? Or no more two? Read 22 up.
Kanarawan Khan, sir.
You see it up?
Verse 22, Kanarawan. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel. And one king shall be king to them all. And there shall be no more two nations.
No more what?
There shall be no more two nations.
You ever wondered what the gospel is? It's that. That's the gospel. Where the Most High takes two nations who were split in a civil war. The nation of Israel was one nation at one time under King David. And then we fought each other and killed each other. And we had a civil war and we were split. Just like in America, the North and the South fought each other, right? Abraham Lincoln tried to keep the Union, tried to keep America together. The nation of Israel split in a civil war after the time of King Solomon. We had a civil war and we hated each other for 600 years. Hated each other so much that we considered each other a separate nation. That's how deep our hatred was for one another. But even in the Old Testament, there was a time prophesied when these two nations would not be two nations anymore, but they would be one in the hand of the Most High God. No more two, but one. Well, those two nations are those two women. That's the two women. Why? Because in Revelations 12:1, the woman had how many stars around her head? Do you remember, Yashikar?
So, like I said, I can get that.
It's all right. I'll
was
just for time's sake, 12 stars. 12 stars around her head, because that woman represents all 12 of the children of Israel. Those people who at one time were split up. Those two angels were speaking about Salakia. Those two people that Issachar, Judah, Christians, Catholics believe are angels are not angels at all. It's a vision about two halves of the same nation. Two women who are married to the same God. Two women who have the same husband. Everyone understands? You understand, Yashikar?
Khan, I don't want Khan. Me General Tawada for that, sir.
In 1 Corinthians 15, the Bible says that the glory of an angel is not your glory. It's separate, like the difference between the sun and the moon. Humans have women because humans have children and humans have sex. But angels are not human. So they don't have sex. They don't build families. They don't go to the movies Saturday night with their girl because they're not people, right? That's what you do because you are a human. But an angel doesn't argue at night with his wife. They don't have wives because they're not people. They don't procreate. They don't make babies. Everybody understands.
Con General. Gracias, General.
Later on, I'll break down the whole Catholic myth. The reason that Hispanics believe that angels are little babies is because Hispanics believe Catholic art, Catholic paintings, Catholic statues, and the tribe of Judah believes the same thing. The tribe of Judah, we're one nation who think we're two nations. Meanwhile, we have the same liar over us. The same liar gives us all the same lies.
Right.
Every so-called black man believes that angels are little naked babies because all of you go to church and see the same Catholic Christian artwork and you don't read or know the Bible at all. You understand, Yashikar?
Sí, mi General. Tawara.
No, sir. Give him a hand. All right.
Officer Rio Grande is ready, sir.
Salaki, sir.
Please, Rio Grande.
Hold on a second. 1 second, Jamaica. Rio Grande, sir. Officer Kanat.
Lord in Christ, sir, the water. If I could, sir, get a breakdown on 1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 8. This is a precept that purple homosexuals and selfish women.
Yeah. Let's hear it. A precept about what? What's the topic? No go. All right, let's just break it down for him. Who has it? You got it up.
Shlaki, can you hear me, sir?
I hear you now. You dropped out for a minute though. What do you have?
Okay. Shlaki, sir, I have 1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 8. If you could give me a breakdown on this scripture, sir.
No problem. How? Let me see for 1 second.
Says, but if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he hath denied the faith and is worse than an infidel.
I'm sorry, read it one more time.
Sir. 1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 8. But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he hath denied the faith and is worse than an infidel.
That's true. You have got to provide, especially for them of your own house. So that's why I always make sure I provide a stern whooping for all my kids. Right. I provide a belt to beat them profusely. I don't want them to go without a beating. All right, and that's why I provide something else for my wife too. Shalom. She don't go without that. I provide plenty of recreation for her. Sweat. I provide my wives with a good workout to keep them in shape. I keep them loose and limber and stretched. Shalom. Let me ask you a question, warrior. Provide what?
I would say everything that you're saying, General,
well,
and
what
protection.
What would the IUIC say?
No.
Because, of course, just like a Christian, when they see the word provide, just like a Christian, when they see eat anything, they see pigs, they see ham. The word said provide. Why does it mean money? Where is that at? That it says money. Right. You understand, warrior? Does it say money somewhere? Does it say you must provide money to your wife? If it says it, I'll read it, no problem. But it doesn't, so I provide sex to a wife. Right. Sex constantly. I keep them well sexed, serviced. Right. Constantly in euphoria, all the time, barely can walk. I provide that to him. To a child, I provide beatings. Constant beatings. All the time beatings. So I guess I'm doing my job.
And they love it.
And they love it. Yes, I'm providing beatings and sex. So that's my house. That's what I give them. That's my job. I got to provide for them beatings and sex. Does it say that that's not talking about beatings and sex? I'm listening. Whenever you're ready, IUIC, just show me where it says it's not talking about beatings and sex. Here's the problem. You put your philosophy on the Bible, but it's not there. It's not there. It doesn't say provide money, but you see it because America tells you that you must provide money. And so when you cannot provide money, you're not a man. And that's the point. The point is to emasculate you, to absolutely emasculate you, so that when you don't have money, you're not even a man without money. And that's hardcore, because if I'm not a man without money, then the person that gives me money makes me a man. That person. I'm a man because of them, which means your supervisor makes you a man. You're not a man without that supervisor. That paycheck that he gives you, without that paycheck, you are not a man, which means I must serve him with all my soul and my heart. Because if he ever fires me, if he ever tells me don't come to work, I cease to be a man the second I get a pink slip, because then I cannot provide money. Here's the good news. You can still provide you can give a woman what she needs. You can provide that, and you can provide beatings day and night, all day, all the time to those badass kids you have who make the neighborhood unlivable.
Right.
The neighborhood is unlivable because of your bad kids. Provide ass whippings for those kids.
Right.
Provide it for them. You know, and within moderation and within the laws of the city that you live in. Come on.
What if that's not enough?
Well, then you're not providing enough. You better provide all the beatings that they need. Your wife might say it's not enough either. Keep providing them. Providing. Start working out. Go to the doctor and provide.
Yes, sir.
There's a point I'm trying to make. All this was said in jest to prove a point. We got to first see what they're talking about providing, right? Let's just not assume, because I could assume it means a very like a rod just like this here. I provide this to my wife. I provide constant beatings to my kids. I could say providing is whatever I want.
Right.
I could just decide that providing is whatever I want to provide. Just like Christians decide it's money from your boss. Let's find out what we're actually talking about before we put our philosophy on this scripture. Does everyone understand? You understand, Rio Grande?
Sir.
Right. Keith, now, where do I want to start from right here? Somewhere above it, it's going to say what you need to provide. Is it defraud? Where is it at?
You can really start at verse 1 or 2, sir. Salaki.
Give Captain Tazariak a hand. He's always hovering. I didn't know he was here. He's listening like an angel. Somewhere in the cloud. Where did that voice come from? He's up here. So
We up in here.
he's in the clubhouse. Give him a hand. Captain Tazariak.
God, sir.
Go ahead. Where do we want to start it again? Say it again. Verse 1. Let Rio.
You can start at verse 1 or 2, sir, if you wanted to, sir.
You want to start at 2? No problem. Go ahead and read 2.
Sir. 1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 2. The elder woman as mothers, the younger as sisters, with all purity.
Keep going.
Verse 3. Honor widows that are widows indeed. 4. But if any widow have children or nephews, let them learn first to shew piety at home.
This precept is about women. How elder women are, what elder women are supposed to teach younger women. Women can teach other women, and they can teach children. but it's important what they teach them. Teach them piety. Piety means purity. Teach them to be at home and take care of their loved ones and their husband. This is what an elder woman should teach a younger woman. Go ahead.
Khan, and to requite their parents.
And teach them to requite their parents. How do you requite your parents? Your parents took care of you when you were a baby. They changed your diapers. Now, when they get old, you change their diapers. That's what requite or repay your parents. They took care of you when you were a baby. Well, there's a time coming when your parents will be babies again. They'll have diapers again, and they'll need to be fed again. Teach a woman to do that. That's how you make a good woman, not some slut bitch in the world who you idolize over, who is good for nothing but sex and barely good at that. Teach her to take care of the elderly. Teach her to be kind and generous. Keep going.
Khan, for that is good and acceptable before God.
Because the Most High thinks that's good and acceptable, man. You got elderly people who slay on the sidewalk because your woman cares about a wig more than she cares about helping someone. She cares about her nails more than she cares about the poor. A woman is supposed to be the source of femininity and compassion. Who has the capacity to be more kind than a woman? Her entire physiology is built up to be giving, to be kind. Well, meanwhile, what does she care about? Her hair and her nails. That's what she cares about. And that woman with that wig on and her nails, you should see her grandmother. She's in a diaper she's been in for 3 days. And she won't even come change the diaper. She won't even come see her. She's a bitch and a slut and disgusting.
Right.
But if you want to be good in the eyes of God and accepted, care about the elderly. Right. Care about kindness. That's what makes you a real woman. That's a phrase. I don't know how many times I have to hear it throughout my work in the truth, what a real man is. That's something. You hear that constantly. Hold your point. Constantly about a real man. Brother, I don't even know if I've ever heard the term a real woman outside of the school. I don't think I've ever heard that term used, except for in the UPK. If you were a real woman, no one even says it ever, because a real woman is whatever she wants it to be. It's not like she's a real woman if she takes care of her kids. She could abort her kids and still be a real woman. It's not like she's a real woman if she has a job. If she doesn't have a job, she's still a real woman because she's taking time to get to know herself.
Whatever that means.
There's no such thing as a real woman. There's no path that she has to take to be a real woman. She can just be whatever she is. I think about that goddamn Lizzo. I thought about her today on that damn long 4-hour ride I had to get to come over here. Lizzo is gigantic and big. Right. And Lizzo is considered wonderful because she doesn't care about the stereotypes of what people look like. But then why does she have a wig on and get her nails done and wear makeup? Right. So wait a minute. She doesn't care about what she looks like because her beauty comes from within. But she has a wig and makeup and nails. So she does care about what she looks like. She only cares about the things that are easy. Right. Oh, I see. It's easy to get your hair done and your nails done. It's hard to give up ham. Right. Oh, so really, a woman can just be whatever she wants. Meaning, if she's like, I'm 400 pounds, so what? I'm beautiful. I don't care about looks. I'm spending $500 on my hair, $300 on my nails, $1,000 on my clothing. You don't care about what you look like? I think you do care about what you look like. Right. I think you absolutely do. You decide what you care about when it comes to looks, because there's no such thing as a real woman. A real woman loves her kids or kills her kids. They're both real women. A real woman has a husband or she don't need a man. Whatever. Well, the Bible tells you what a real woman should be. You should be kind. You should care about the elderly. You should care about the poor. That's a real woman. Continue. Whoever was reading.
Kanak, you still there?
Someone read for him if you have to. See me,
Clubhouse
see me one more
announcement,
time with the
slide
chaser,
in.
please.
For that is good and acceptable before God.
Keep going.
5. Now if she that is a widow indeed,
Am I
and
too
does,
far up? Just give me, you know what I want up. Give me for what? Give me the thing I need about what you provide.
but Salakia.
Mhm.
6. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth.
Yeah,
7.
I think that's what I just broke down.
Con.
She that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. If your life is about wigs and nails and whatever you can get to make yourself happy, which is why a woman is going to beg and press and hunt people down to get married. And then once she's married, she's going to beg to get out of the marriage and want a divorce.
Out of the marriage.
She's going to
and
need
want
a divorce. She's going to be desperate to get a divorce. The same bitch that was like a year ago saying, when are you going to marry me? When are you going to give me a ring? In about 2 years, she's going to say, I'm not happy. I must get out of this marriage. I have got to get out of this marriage because her life is pleasure. Her life is seeking happiness like a crackhead. Everyone understands. Keep going.
And these things give in charge.
Read that again.
And these things give in charge.
These things what in charge?
Give in charge.
These things what in charge?
Give in charge.
See, here's the problem, bitches. Listen carefully. When I say that, of course, I mean women in the world, okay? I'm not talking about the wonderful, beautiful women over here. Give them a hand. Oh, my goodness. They're lovely. They're just lovely. Look at them today with their dresses. Look at the little baby girl over there hiding behind the book. She's pretty as she could be. She's too pretty. Good job. No, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about bitches in the world who only care about themselves. Selfish. Selfish. It makes them ugly and stink. That's in the Bible. Come on.
Precept.
Of course.
Ecclesiasticus 26 and 25. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog.
That's what it says. That's why I keep saying that. That's the point. I'm providing something by calling you a bitch. I'm giving you something. It's a gift. That's what it just said right here. Read it one more time.
7. And these things give in charge.
What things give in charge? Sister, you had your hand up earlier, right? What did you want to say?
Mike.
1 second. Mm-hmm.
I want to say my mother's 89.
Mm-hmm.
The mic's turned on, Bubba Show.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say my mom is 89 and she walks around and do everything.
Oh.
She don't need help with diapers and stuff yet.
That's beautiful. What's the important word you just said? Yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great blessing. At 89, your mother sounds very independent and very healthy. That's a beautiful thing. Yet there's a time coming for all of us. We're going to need somebody to give us a helping hand. That's coming for everybody. You understand? Except for me. Because I'll be strong and mighty up until I cut the heads off of my enemies.
That's right.
But for all of you, you better get some help. Y'all going to need some help. I'll help you. All right, done. We good and solid. Anything else? Go ahead.
It's like Jamaica has a question next, and we got a bunch of questions.
Oh shit! Come on.
It's 8:50.
God, yeah, come on. Who was reading? Here's the point. Read that last part again.
And these things give in charge.
These things give in charge, meaning give women this. Tell women to not be to not have their life lost in pleasure. Tell women to take care of the elderly. Tell women to do this. Tell women to do that. These things give in charge. Yes, you can give someone money, but you can also give someone instructions. You can also give someone a lesson. And don't think that the lesson is less important than money. There was an old saying that you can give someone a fish and they'll eat one day. But if you teach them to fish, they eat every day. Are you telling me that education is less important than money. Education is where money comes from. If you educate a woman, my God, now the woman will flourish because she doesn't blow her money on silly things. She'll have a budget. She'll know how to go back to school. She'll know how to spend money because you gave her an education. Keep going.
And these things give in charge that they may be blameless. 8. But if any provide not for his own.
Now that's all you need to stop being stupid. Right here. It's right in front of you. It's clear right in front of you. The purple homosexuals, they are ruled by women. Women pick that color purple. That's a woman's color. That I'm guaranteed Nate's wife picked that color. Right. She picked the garments. She decided the entire thing. The IUIC is an organization created by someone's wife. It's set up to please Nate's wife because she doesn't want her husband to ever go out and, get all cool and get all masculine and get a woman. Don't worry, baby girl. Your husband's gay. Feel at ease. He's not getting another wife. You all right. You're worrying about nothing. Everybody understands. Just read me that verse above it. I can read and go float right in to provide. Go ahead.
Verse 7. And
tell them where you are.
This is 1 Timothy 5 and 7.
Go
and
ahead.
These things give in charge that they may be blameless. But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he hath denied the faith and is worse than an infidel.
You have to provide these things to your wife. And if not, you're worse than an unbeliever. That's what an infidel is, an unbeliever. Because you don't teach your wife. You let your wife run the streets looking for hair, looking for eyelashes as big as this goddamn table. That's your wife's whole life, eyelashes. Your wife is a silly, stupid bitch that doesn't watch the news or wouldn't know it if a nuclear bomb exploded outside. Unless, Beyonce did it. She wouldn't even know it happened. That's your wife. When I talk to your wife, when I see her, I know no one is providing an education for this woman. No one is teaching her. She's stupid. I don't know what else I can do for you. Rio Grande, is that good enough or not?
Kind of, sir. So basically, sir, it's saying that what you have to give your family in those of your household instructions and corrections. If you don't, then you're counted as an infidel.
That's what it
So
says.
could I then say if could I then say if you're providing the wrong instructions and corrections, like teaching her that this scripture is saying a man has to make money, could you then be counted as an infidel as well?
Well, you're not providing because it tells you what things to provide. It's right above it. I just broke it down. You're not providing a lesson for her to be kind, to be generous with old people. You're not teaching her to be feminine. And a woman, brother, many times is like a pit bull dog or a dog. Let me try to explain. If you have a pit bull, they have to be socialized at a young age. You got to take them and pet them and train them and teach them while they're little tiny puppies. If you do not pay attention to that little puppy and train that puppy and pet that puppy, when that puppy gets older, it's going to bite somebody. Right. Because you have not trained that dog. And men are going to meet that dog out in the world, at Popeyes, at this agency, at the DMV. All your day, you're going to meet women who are untrained. And what's the first thing you're going to think? Where's your husband? Right. That's what every brother says. Where's your husband at? Who are you talking to like that? Why are you acting like that? Sis, I'm not going to argue with you. Where's your husband at? Because you're looking like, damn, you in here in my face yelling at me in the Popeyes about French fries? Right. Where's your husband at? I don't want to argue and fight with you. You're a woman. I don't want to smack you across your goddamn face and break your jaw So where's your husband at? So I can break his jaw. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's unlawful and illegal in every state in America and in Texas.
The bare backup dancers, yo, Yankees. I go, man. You're right.
Don't do that. Pause him. Don't
Hit
do
the fuck up
things
your
like
speech,
that.
man.
But the point is, someone should help the woman so she can go get a job, go be. Your woman is so uneducated, and so she, you know what she needs? She needs what they used to call finishing school. That's what they would provide to a woman to teach her some class. Put a goddamn book on her head so she can learn how to walk with her head like this up here, learn how to carry a purse like that, learn how to walk down there so she doesn't slouch and bebop walk, and learn how to talk. And the rain in Spain falls mainly in the plain. So she can learn how to speak and learn to be dignified and have some goddamn class. Instead of fighting in the DMV and in the Popeyes over French fries. Come on. Salakia. She needs some training. Now, does that mean that you cannot give your wife money? No. That does not mean that. And guess what? You don't need a precept for paying bills. That's unnecessary. Who can guess why? Jesus Christ. Is there a precept that says you better drink water? You better get some water in you. You need water. Why is there no precept about drinking water? About you?
Because it's a necessity for life.
It's a necessity for life. It doesn't need to get taught. Is there a precept that says, listen, don't ever go without food for 100 days? You better eat some food. Don't go without food for 10 years. There's no precept, and it's unnecessary. You don't need a precept that says pay bills. Bills tell you to pay bills. Do you understand? There's no need for a precept for that. You're going to pay the bill unless you want to be in the darkness, unless you want to live in a tent. A man is going to pay those bills. Whoever has money is going to pay the bills because the bills demand it. But here's what you could avoid: teaching her, because life does not demand that you teach your wife. You're not going to go homeless because you don't teach her. The lights aren't going to get turned off because you don't teach her. But you will have a woman who is cruel, and old people will suffer. Children will suffer. But the bills could get paid even though she's a bitch. If you're going to help her with money, you're going to pay the light bill and the rent because it demands it. But education is what men avoid. Men avoid teaching their woman because teaching your woman is a hassle. It's a vexation because she doesn't want to hear it. Which is why the Bible has to say, if you don't give her this, you are a non-believer. Because she doesn't want to hear this. She wants to hear she is perfect. There is nothing wrong with her. Everything about her is right. She cannot take criticism. She doesn't want to hear it. So if you're lazy, you'll go, fine, just give me a purple shirt and I'll just forget about the whole thing. That's what you'll do. But you can't be lazy. You're going to have to correct your woman, or else your woman will walk by a UPK camp running her mouth, and then we'll do it. And to avoid that, why don't you just do it? Everybody understands. Thank you. The topic. Clap it up for the topic real quick. Who was a famous rapper, the rapper Blueface, and his wife. 1 second. Water. Gracias. I'm getting my. Also, hold up. Yashikar, are you there?
General.
The brothers are telling me that I'm mispronouncing Aladio. Is it Aladio for chosen?
Elegido. It's elegido.
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 Elegido. Gracias.
Nada.
Chosen. Okay, I'll remember that for tonight. Elegido. All right. The topic. You got Blueface. Speaking about women and people and not providing education. Damn it. Blueface And his wife, his rib, we would call in the UPK. In the UPK, we call wives ribs because of Adam. And Eve was Adam's rib. So it's UPK slang to say, that's my rib, that's your rib. Everybody understands, right? So in the media recently, Blueface and his rib, Chrisean Rock.
Right.
Chrisean Rock, they're all over the internet. They fight and argue. She punches him and oh, there you go. She punches him. They get in fight. God, he's giving her a good swing on that one right there. He providing a good punch for her. He provide not that one. What's the other one you showed? He providing the left hook for that woman right there. Go ahead.
She missing a tooth now.
She missed it from him knocking a tooth out.
She look like China Mac now. She
Yikes.
missing a whole tooth.
Shout out to Contazar. Give Contazar a hand. He providing something for her right here. Not the right thing that he should provide, of course. So they've been in the news a lot lately because they're fighting and they're arguing. And of course, they have, alcoholism problems and drug problems. Let me give you a precept for them, all right? Let me explain. Now, what is the Israelite School of UPK's official stance on Chrisean Rock and Blueface? And I'll explain in 1 second, all right? We're going to go to Jeremiah. Bear with me. Jeremiah. You're going to hold this. Jeremiah 7. And 33 to 34. Now, most people, when they see Chrisean Rock and Blueface, they might have a few different points of view on it. One point of view might be, this couple is just terrible. They're terrible. They're drunk. They're an embarrassment to black people, right? You'll hear some people say that they're just embarrassing because they're fighting each other. They're hating each other. They're getting in big fights. And they're drunk and high, and it's disgusting. That might be the viewpoint of some people. Other people might say, why doesn't Blueface just leave her? She's disgusting. But why doesn't he beat her? He should hit her back. He should punch her in the face because she's always trying to be violent with him. You might have a few different points of view on Blueface and Chrisean Rock. Here is the UPK stance on Blueface and Chrisean Rock. This problem starts 400 years before them. And that's the key. The key is not them. Here's the real problem of Blueface and Chrisean Rock. All of us are familiar with it because it is as common a problem as the snow falling in the winter and the sun in the summer. All of us have been in this or know this because this problem has nothing to do with them. It's Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown. That was the other one when I was young. Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown, some couple who you love to watch their self-destruction. You love to look at it. The issue is there will always be a couple like them because they are a product of being in hell and oppression here. They're suffering, and their suffering starts before them. If you don't like what you see with Blueface and Chrisean Rock, don't think to yourself, here's the mistake. Women, if you don't like what this couple, right, you'll think to yourself, I'll never be in a relationship like that. I won't stand for that. If you're a man and you hate how this woman treats Blueface, you'll say to yourself, I'll never let a woman hit me like that. I'll never be embarrassed like that in public. You're not thinking correctly. Here's what you should think. How do I raise my daughter? And will my daughter be like her? How do I raise my son? And will my son be like him? Because this problem starts before them. Instead of worrying about your relationship and comparing your relationship to Blueface's, you better think about your daughter and your son, because their problem started before they were born. There was a time in their life before they were born, and that girl, Chrisean Rock, She had no choice but to end up right where she is. No choice. And the problems that Blueface has, he had no choice but to end up right there. The lesson to learn is to raise children that don't end up like this. That's harder, isn't it? That's a much more difficult job at hand. All of us can say, well, I would never let her hit me like that. I would never be with a man who does things like that. But are you raising a girl who will be in that situation? Are you raising a boy who will be in that situation? Because that's why they're there. They're in this situation because that's what they were born in. That's the life that they were born in. And this world is so evil in that it expects you to have a good marriage from the ghetto and from poverty and from being molested and from going to jail and from having a father who was an alcoholic. Somehow I'm supposed to not be an alcoholic? How exactly does that work? Bring that down for me. Because my father taught me to talk, taught me to walk, taught me my name. He's not going to teach me alcoholism. I learned everything else from him.
That's right.
My mother is not going to teach me alcoholism, drug addiction, to be promiscuous with men. She taught me my name. She taught me how to walk. She taught me birthdays. So why do you think I can learn a lesson that my mother didn't teach me when I will learn the lessons of my parents?
That's right.
And it's so easy to look at this couple and think about you being a couple when you should look at Blueface and Krishan Rock and think about you being a parent. Because this is the failure of parenting.
That's right.
That's what you're seeing in front of you. The failure of parenting. Parents who cared more about drugs, alcohol, or chasing sex than they did their children. And now their children are something that white people get to laugh at. That's it. That's the lesson of Krishan Rock and Blueface. Are you raising children that will be just like them? And the difference is your children aren't going to get a TV show. Your children aren't going to get a rap contract. Your children are going to be like everyone else who the police are coming to your house every weekend. But there's no reality show. There's no rap contract. There's no, VH1 special. But the police are coming to your house every week. And there are children watching. They're sitting right there. Sometimes they go hide under the bed. Sometimes they go into a closet. Sometimes they go into their room when you say, get in your room, so that you can argue and fight with each other. I don't know if you notice I don't know if you know, but they can hear. They can hear in the room because you're so loud. The neighbors can hear. That's why they call the cops. When you fight outside, all the people can see it. Your children can see it. And let me tell you something else that maybe you don't realize. Your children are scared. They're scared when you fight each other. They're scared. You're scaring them, and they're 8 years old, 4 years old. And they're learning to be you. And that's what they're going to be. They're going to be you. And one day, the police are going to come to their house and they're going to be in a relationship just like the one you're in, except there won't be a VH1 camera there. They'll just be the police. The police will just be there. This is the failure of parenting. Give me the precept.
I got it, sir. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 7, verse 33. And the carcasses of this people shall be meat for the fowls of the heaven.
The carcasses of these people shall be meat for the fowls of heaven. Brother, I never imagined years ago how profitable it would be to see how we hate each other and to see our drug addiction and our alcoholism and the industries that didn't exist before that exist now because we're drunk and high and hate each other. Blog sites and internet sites that didn't exist before. And now you are what they talk about 24 hours a day. The industries. I remember some recent rapper got killed. Who what's the most?
Offset from the Migos.
Quavo.
Offset from the Migos.
Offset from the Migos. And this
Takeoff
from the Migos got murdered. And I remember going on my phone and seeing the content it created. Oof. That's a good thing he got killed. Because the content, the hits, the views, the commercial business that happened because this one man got killed. Not just CBS, NBC, and Fox News, but just every little blog, every little website that now could fill their day with content, fill their day with things to talk about because of this murder. It's like a vulture picking a carcass. And now each one of us can pick the carcass of Blueface and Krishan Rock. We can just look at them and fill up our phones with it and our media sites and talk about it and down all the interviews. Every blogger can sit down with them and talk to them and fill it up and fill up their world with content because they're alcoholics and drug addicts, because their parents failed them. And now every filthy bird can eat. Keep reading.
And for the beast of the earth.
All of the animals can eat now. Damn, I wonder what would happen if they were functional, right? If they weren't alcoholics. What would happen if they were good, if they were parented well, if they had good parents? I guess we'd have nothing to look at. I guess commercials wouldn't have any way to spend their money. I guess reporters and internet reporters wouldn't have anything to talk about if they had good parents. I guess everyone would go hungry unless this couple kills themselves, unless this couple dies. And once one of them dies, and once one of them ODs, oh my God, now we have a week of things to talk about, to examine, to look at, to mourn, and to make songs to and make tributes to, so that animals can eat. So animals can eat. Anything else?
And none shall fray them away.
And no one will say, "Get away, vulture! Get away! Get away, hyena! Stop eating the flesh of this poor couple," who wouldn't exist without having terrible fathers and terrible mothers and growing up poor. Like, without poverty, how would you get Blueface and Krishan Michelle? So you know what that means, though? Then the people in charge have to make sure that there's a new crop of poor people to embarrass, which means they can't fix the job problem. They can't fix the economy. If you fix the economy, how would you have sports?
Right.
You wouldn't have sports. Let me give you one of the great myths of Black people. Black people think that they are so they're in sports, and that 85% of the NBA is Black, and that 75% of the NFL is Black, because we're such great athletes. Let me burst that myth in front of you today. The reason that we are the boxing community and the sports community is because we're poor. That's the reason. It's because we're poor. So we'll play a sport where you're going to get hit in your heart and almost die. And we're going to keep playing it. We're not going to say, "Damn, a nigga almost got killed out there. I'm done with that." No. And I'm not going to live in these projects. I'm not going to live where I have no plumbing and somewhere in Alabama where you don't even have a toilet. You're playing football. You understand? You're playing football because you don't have plumbing in your house. You understand that means that the government has to make sure you never have plumbing. Because if you have plumbing, you will not play a sport where you can get killed. There's some new sport where they just smack you straight in your damn face. Where they just stand you up before you know it, brother. Everybody Black is going to be playing that sport. Every Hispanic is going to be playing that sport. You just need more poverty, and you need to not be able to get in the NFL. Once you can't make it in the NFL, you'll start just smacking each other in the goddamn face, because you're not going to go without a toilet anymore. Poverty is why we hurt each other, is why we hurt ourselves. It's why our marriages are something that white people can be entertained by. Everyone understands. That's the official stance of the UPK for Blueface and Krishan Michelle. You can go straight to this precept right here. All right. Abaji. I'm sorry. 1 second, Levi. Give Captain Katazar a hand. Captain Katazar, come with up and break down what happened today with the battle you got into.
All right, so it started last night. So we've been doing a room on the 100 side every Wednesday. So there was a story with
What is the 100 side?
So on Clubhouse, there's a group of rooms that run 24 hours by Whack 100's team.
Okay, that's why it's called 100 side.
Karawakan.
Okay.
And it's the most popular rooms on Clubhouse. So we got integrated into their side. So we have a One West room on his side. So he drives his traffic over to our room so we could teach topics. So the topic we taught on was there's this Asian rapper named China Mac that he's been getting he's been all over the vlogs and everything lately because he got into it with this cat.
Let's see a picture of him.
China
Mac. Yeah, I'm assuming he's a Moabite.
He's a Moabite.
The water. Let's check him out. Go ahead.
So he basically, the issue is that he wanted to chime in on black issues, and then when he turned around and had some Asian issues, you know what I'm saying, he wanted to exclude black people from that, but he wants to be a part of hip hop. So
he's a rapper.
Okay. So I made a room called China Mac wants to be China Mac acts conveniently black. So while we were having that room, I ended up getting into it with WAG 100. So then he was like, well, I could ping China in here right now. He's like, he from New York. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could come see you. I'm like, I'm on 125th Street. You can come see me whenever you want. So then the next day, which was this morning, I woke up and I received a message that this cat wanted to do an interview. So he's doing an interview with China Mac. And he's like, I'm gonna play the clip and then bring you up so you two could have the conversation you wanted to have. And the cat had like 86,000 subscribers. So I would call Captain Zaryak, and then I was like, "What's up?" So then he's like, "Let's do it." So then I went to his house. We set up, and then now we had So while the interview was going on, then he played the clip, and the clip was like basically like him trying to say I call him a culture vulture and all these other things.
He played a clip of what?
He played a clip of the audio of me arguing with Whack 100
earlier that same day.
I
got you.
So then from there, so now he came on to say, hey man, I'm not a part of the oppression. I don't do this. Asians don't do that. We're unprotected and all this. So then I was like, I started off. And then he said, oh, and I was at I didn't come in the room last night because I was at the memorial for the shooting in Cali.
Oh, bless his heart.
So I was like, so I told him, I said, let me tell you something. I said, that is extremely commendable for you to go out there and support your people. I'm like, Cap, where was that? What was it? Asian nail salon that we went out to that the sister got choked out. I said, we hear the call of our people as well. So then basically I just started hearing what we talk about at camp. So I was like, because he was like, listen, Asians aren't protected. We're docile. And I'm like, y'all aren't protected. I said, y'all got a crime bill passed in 3 weeks. I said the Asian got choked out on Delta. You got a $20 million settlement outside court. I said, a cop Gurley was murdered by an Asian cop. Y'all overturned a guilty verdict and then said that the Asian cop isn't going to be the scapegoat because white cops kill black people all the time. So and then that turned into every time I got on him about, I'm like, listen, y'all set up businesses in our neighborhoods. I'm like, ask the brother who running the podcast if he could even get a job application in Chinatown. So then once he went there, now he wanted to run to hip hop. So now he's like, oh, I'm not a guest in hip hop. So I'm like, okay, if you're not a guest in hip hop, I'm like, where's the Chinese pioneer of hip hop? So now he's like, well, I can't think of one. So I'm like, you can't think of one because there isn't one. He's like, how do you know that? I said, how do we know Michael Jordan's the best basketball player? He's like, well, we're not talking about the best. I said, no, we're not. We're talking about statistics. We got to look at the statistics to see the evidence. So then I said, well, if I go and watch a documentary from the 70s when hip hop was created, and I look at Style Wars. I don't see not one Asian painting the trains in New York in the video. I'm like, if I watch Wild Style, I see a Puerto Rican named Crazy Legs. I don't see no Asians. So I'm like, so where are you? And then he got crushed from that point. And then Captain Zaryak chimed in and was like, listen, he was like, you could be a guest. He's like, you could have a PlayStation in the guest house. He's like, you could have a couch, you could have all that. He goes, but the master of the house got the whole house. So just take your portion. So then I was like, so now let me ask you, are you a guest in hip hop? He's like, no. So I'm like, okay, are you an adopted child of hip hop? And he thought for a second, because I'm like, since you were raised by black people, since you came through, did we adopt you? He's like, nah, I still can't say. Like the Pride of Moab came out. But we're gonna put the footage up on Cross the Line. So Barakatha Hawaii was shy, but he got roasted, stir fried.
Done, Captain. That's an excellent work. Captain count this up. Go ahead, Doc, in the back.
Salak, yes, sir. I know real quick. We're expecting as soon as Esau puts it out, the footage for the brother that was beaten by 5 brothers, cops in Memphis.
Wow.
Tyree Nichols. I just wanted for going out to Kim. How should we tackle this issue? He was beaten by 5 brothers. 3 of them were cops, and it is interesting. 2 weren't even cops; they were paramedics.
What?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me just try to understand what you're saying. Are you saying that the paramedics beat him?
We're not sure the specifics, but 5 of them are just turned themselves.
Let's look into it. All right. Well, listen, that's your breakdown out there. You probably have in your precept book all the time with cops who murder black men. And once again, those cops are of America.
Right.
They're Gentiles. Right. Which is what happens once you take on the culture and the philosophy of your oppressor. You will begin to oppress your own people.
And last thing, the city is already preparing because they must know this is. They're comparing it worse to the Rodney King video. They're afraid to release it.
Damn.
The city's preparing for a riot. So my question is, what are some good anti-riot scriptures? I don't need them, but just to write them down and.
Anti-riot,
meaning like to go over rioting in case it does happen.
There are riot, when you speak about riots, what you want to speak about is that it's a curse. It's a sign.
Concept.
There is no way to stop rioting.
Right.
Rioting is like trying to stop disease.
Concept.
There's no way to stop disease. It's a curse. A riot is just like, the flu or the COVID-19 virus. It's a sign that death is coming. So in the UPK, we prophesy riots.
Right.
And we prophesy death and disease and to tell our people that it's coming so that our people can be safe and stay away from it. But there is no way to stop it because people are going to do it because they're part of the curse. But the UPK, of course, we won't riot and we won't, get involved in things that people do in the world. But those things are going to happen nonetheless. But we'll prophesy them before they happen. So what you should do is prophesy the riot. Say that the riot is going to happen. These stores are going to burn down. So that when it happens, they'll know you're a prophet of God. You understand? Come on.
It was 5 officers. It was 5 officers and 2 fire department personnel who were EMTs. And they fired the 2 fire department personnel, but they're not saying exactly what anybody did yet.
So either they beat him or they just watched it, even though they're supposed to give aid. They're supposed to get in there and give him some CPR or help him or stop the beating, but instead they just behave like Romans. They behave like racist white cops. Come on, I gotta wrap it up.
I just wanted to describe. They beat him, tased him, and pepper sprayed him. There's a picture online that's going everywhere.
And where did it happen? What city did it happen again?
Memphis, Tennessee. Tyree Nichols. You can look it up. That picture's disgusting.
Who's in charge of the Memphis camp?
Captain Soccer War.
Captain Soccer War. Shout out to Captain Soccer War. The brothers down there in Memphis. Aid or help he might need to fully attack this issue, to show people that they should come to the Most High God because our lives are in danger. All right. With that, Pastor, what's your name again? Out. With that, pass the class over to Priest Officer Karat is up.
Men of Israel, Amajum, we're gonna give one courtesy salute to the general. Men of Israel, we're gonna give one courtesy salute. This is sit down.
He's not a brother.
Spot. Amajum, Rock. Yasmatab. So and turn to the sisters. Men of Israel, we're gonna give on one courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Amad Shabbat, Amajum, Barak, Yasmatab, class dismissed.
Hey, shalom, Haïti. I don't know about this. Ça passe. Ça passe. C'est officier 5000 Yatoza bon lawyer avec officier Shagapan. Shalom. You going to the Passover? Hell yeah. Yeah, man.
Are you going to Passover?
When I'm going to Passover.
See, he spoke Creole, and I still don't know he was going to Passover.
Exactly. All right. Jour passé qui a 1er avril 2023 dans Raleigh, North Carolina. Tout haïtien, tout monde ou supposé dans North Carolina pour qu'à venir célébrer jour, ça nous relève en anglais Passover, en créole, jour délivrance là, jour passé dans Raleigh, North Carolina. Fuck Una building now. You gotta be in the building, man. Officer Sugar Palm, man. What you doing? Where are you heading there?
Are we walking?
I'm walking, man. If we walk today, if we start today, we'll get there on time.
Listen, I'm trying to be bougie. I think I might take a plane. I'll see you there.
I'm out of here, man. I'm going right now.
Listen, what he said is April 1st, North Carolina, Raleigh, Passover, the 54th Passover. If you're not there, I don't know what you're doing with yourself. You're slacking. You gotta be there at the Lord's.
You say you're catching the plane, right? I'm walking, so I'm out. Raleigh, North Carolina.
You can't wait.
We're not gonna finish the video. I'm going to the Passover, man.
We're not gonna finish the video.
Let's go.
What's the others are?
I gotta go. I'm going to the Passover. You catching a plane. I'm walking. You understand? I'm going.
All right, listen. I'm Officer Shagapan. This is a promo for the Lord's 54th annual Passover down there in Raleigh, North Carolina. If you ain't walking off the Yatazar, then I guess I'll see you on the plane. Shalom.
Shalom, Israel. And when I mean Israel, I'm talking about the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. The Lord's 54th annual Passover is going down again this year, sundown, April 1st at 500 South Salisbury Street in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Downtown Conventional Center. It's got enough room for all of us. The Lord's 54th annual Passover. Last year, brothers and sisters showed up from all over the world, rocking ancient garments and glorious apparel in order to serve the Most High in Christ. Now, it's that time again. Commander General Yohana's putting out the decree for all brothers and sisters to show up sundown, April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina. Join us at the Sheridan in Raleigh, the hotel right downtown. It's at 421 South Salisbury. The Passover is right up the block at the convention center, literally within walking distance. Make sure you pull up. Make sure that you do your due diligence because rooms are going fast and they are limited this weekend. You understand? We have months in advance of preparation. Do not wait till the last minute to get your room. The Lord's 54th annual Passover, Saturday, April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina. Join us there.
It's about time, sending curses to the